And we are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. I am here with Jess Bragg. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, which I would certainly hope so if you're watching this, thank you once again for joining us for this week's comic book news. This is Jess and Hardcovers comic book news show. Thank you once again. I have the man himself, Mr. Omnidog, Jess Bragg.
Yo, Hardcover, what's going on, dude?
How's it going, Jess?
So far, so good. I'm upright and walking still. You see, I got the gray in the beard, so every day that I'm up on my own and putting my pants on by myself, it's a blessing.
Hey, that's how it is, man.
Yeah. How's everything going with you?
It's good. It's good. Like I've already said, we talked before this show started, that I just finished moving. I finished packing things up. Got the tree up, as you can tell, back there. But we're still not done with that yet. So I'm going to finish up this new show with you, and then we're going to get back to that as well. I've discovered, or recently rediscovered, how much of a giant pain it is to move about over 200 books worth of comics just to a new place. It's absolutely ridiculous. I never want to do it again.
No, that's what I said to my wife when we moved into this house. We've been here 26 years, and I'm not going anywhere. I got, besides comic books and stuff, I got vinyl records and stuff, and those are another huge pain to move. So she thinks we're moving sometime. We're not. We're staying here.
As a collector, you just have to realize, like, look, I need a home. I need stability, because if not, it's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah. No, I just don't want to have to deal with this. I'll die and let my daughter deal with it. That's kind of how I feel.
There you go. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, she can figure out what to do with all this. Because on my deathbed, I will have finally read the final book in my collection, and that's when I will keel.
Goals. Those are life goals, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I think I'm just going to look over on my deathbed and see that giant stack of books, and I'm like, there was finally time.
Yeah.
Have like a Twilight Zone moment.
Exactly. You drop your glasses.
I'm glad you got that reference.
Oh, yeah, totally. Burgess Meredith.
Hell yeah. Really intelligent writer. Okay, before we get started, fun fact about that, though. Originally, he got a lot of crap from people saying, wow, you're going to actually leave what you... Because he was like a famous writer on some show or something like that. You're going to leave your show to do sci-fi? Good luck with that, pal.
Rod Serling?
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh.
I was like, good luck with that, pal.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Well, yeah, he did Requiem for a Heavyweight, which was an amazing live performance play on early television back in the early 50s. And that was, he was a playwright before he decided that was the big controversy, that he was going to go to television. And when television was in its infancy, really still.
And it was a big risk for him.
Yeah.
Paid off.
Yeah. Too bad he was such a heavy smoker. That's what really got him in the end.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks.
All those episodes you see of him in the Twilight Zone, I mean, doesn't he have a cigarette in his hand?
He does. I just realized that, yeah.
Yeah, he was a heavy smoker. Him and Humphrey Bogart, they smoked themselves to an early death.
Oh, well, that was during that time period where everybody was like, oh, smoking's healthy for you, wasn't it?
Well, I don't think it really, I think they had their suspicions about it, but I don't think that it really, the Surgeon General's report didn't really come out until the 60s, I think, when it was far too late for everybody that was already addicted to kick.
Yeah. Most people, they were, at the time there was speculation, like, cigarettes might not be as healthy as people think about it.
Right.
But then when it finally came out, it was like, oh, crap, it's too late now.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
It was a major part of the economy and stuff like that by that time. So it was like, we can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
All right. But getting on to today's show, the first thing we're going to be talking about is, and we're a little bit late because we didn't get a chance to record last week because I was moving and all this other stuff. The Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. You want to talk about knocking it out of the park. Wow, what a trailer.
They even got the webbing under his arms now.
Oh.
That is so cool. That is such a cool feature. Just like Ditko drew him,
Yep.
They got the webbing under his arms. That is awesome.
Yeah, you could. It looks like he was ripped right out of a Ditko page. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to see the underarm webbing. I was like, yes, they got
Yeah,
it. They
that's
nailed it.
a tiny thing, but it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved seeing Robert Downey Jr. in it so much. That's so great that Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. are going to be in it
I love.
together.
I love the fact that he's kind of a father figure for
Yeah,
Peter. Which, when you think about it, Iron Man as a father figure, he's got his issues. He's kind of an alcoholic.
yeah,
Probably not the best father figure around, but hey, Peter needs him, so
yeah. And he
really
goes
does.
to hug him, and he says, "No, it's not a hug, kid. I'm letting you out of the car."
That
See
was great. It's it seems like they really nailed the comedy down for this, and they really nailed the aspect of Peter Parker where he talks a lot of trash. Like at the
yeah,
beginning of the trailer, he's like, "Hey, you guys don't look like the
yeah,
Avengers." I was like, "Oh, that's great."
yeah. I loved that trailer. The international trailer showed Shocker in it, which I think is great. Vulture. I was so worried when I heard about. I'm always worried when I hear about Vulture because he was to me really just a dumb kind of villain. That old man with the wings. And I
Yeah.
thought no one's going to want to see some geezer in wings in this movie, and he's no geezer, man. Michael Keaton looks like a technological nightmare. He
Yeah.
just is looking like the baddest of the bad, and I think they amped him up to the max, which looks great.
He looks really impressive. I like the fact that you can tell it's Vulture because there's hints of it there, but they went their own complete route with it, where
Yeah,
it's not some guy in green spandex with like feathers on him.
right. That was always a little a little corny, but one thing I had a question about, and you might know this much better than I do because I do not know. I have not read any. I'm a more classic Spider-Man guy, as you can tell by the gray in my beard. Yes, I was there when Amazing Fantasy 15 or whatever it was printed.
Mm.
Yeah, I was alive then, so um, I don't know Miles Morales at all, and some people are complaining that this looks like it's yanking a bunch of stuff from the Miles Morales issues, some of his story, and it should be a Miles Morales story instead of a Peter Parker story. You have thoughts
Um,
on that?
what they did is, and I think they've said that I'm not entirely sure. Well, they took a character named Genki, who is Miles Morales' best friend
Mm-hmm.
in the comics, and he was introduced in when Miles Morales was introduced. And it appears that what they've done is that he is now Peter Parker's best friend.
Okay.
And that's led to a lot of fans going, "Oh, come on. Why didn't you just do Miles? Why didn't you do Miles?" Miles, in a way, he's really popular because he's relatable with a lot of minorities,
Mm-hmm.
being that he is half black, half Hispanic. Namely, he's half black, half Puerto Rican. Um, so he's he's a character that's very sought after and very looked upon highly because we don't get many characters that are
Right.
like Miles. So a lot of fans were really mad with that, and they said, "God, you could have done Miles." I personally think it's not there yet story wise. This is
Yeah.
Peter's story. This is Peter's story in the MCU. Now, if we get 3 or 4 movies down the line, by all means, introduce Miles. They could totally do that. They could have Peter, who, let's say he's already in college, like 3 or 4 movies down the line, right?
Yeah.
He could be a father figure or role model to Miles, who's coming up. So I think that could be a way that they'll go about it. But
Okay.
they've shown interest in having Miles be more of a prominent character. He was in what's the name? There was a Disney cartoon, a Spider-Man cartoon, probably like 1 or 2 years ago, and Miles was in it. So they've shown interest in the character. I'm a little bit disappointed because I do associate Genki as being Miles' best friend, and
Mm-hmm.
personally I would have loved to have seen Miles, but it didn't happen this time. So we'll see what happens though in the future.
I love that his name's Genki.
Hmm.
Genki.
He's his overweight Asian friend.
Okay.
Really cool character, really hilarious. But you never gonna have you read any of the Miles stuff yet?
No, I haven't got there yet. I have
It's
so much unread stuff that I I don't even know where to start. It's really overwhelming all the stuff that I have. I think I need to catch up on my Deadpool, and then I'll dive into my Spider-Man.
Have you started the Posehn run yet?
I've read all that. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
the latest omnibus, the Deadpool omnibus. Yeah, that's some of my favorite Deadpool stuff.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that is yeah, it's a great, great run.
And it's
And I
a
can,
hell of a buy for 50
yeah,
bucks.
yeah, and I can see why people like that writer better than they like the minibus, the first minibus writer.
Is that
Um,
Colin Bunn? I think.
yeah, Cullen Bunn. Um, yeah, it's Bunn, and they liked it better than Bunn stuff. I see that it was a lot lighter and easier and funnier, so
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But it was a great run.
But overall, what did you think? So you have high hopes for the movie, right?
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
I do now. After seeing that trailer, I do. Yeah. I mean, with Robert Downey Jr. in it, and Tony Stark and Iron Man. The Stark Industries makes the Spider-Man uniform. I mean, come on, this sounds awesome to me. This is what we've been waiting for since Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. So number 3, I never even saw because I said it's just too full of villains. It's going to suck like Batman and Robin. And it did. And then I never watched the Andrew Garfield ones. I'm sorry, but I just didn't. I love Mary Jane. I'm sorry. I love Gwen Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just not. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm really amped for this.
Jess, you seem to be able to avoid all the most terrible movies. You have either the best taste in movies, or you are just are somehow able to avoid them because you've never seen the Transformers movies. You've never
No,
seen the Spider-Man Garfield movies.
no.
You didn't see Spider-Man 3. You've avoided basically all the terrible movies. Did you see Wolverine? Not the recent one, though, one before that.
Is that the Wolverine movie where his brother's Sabretooth?
Yeah.
And they have all those fight scenes and
Yeah.
um yeah, I did see that.
Okay,
Sorry, I
so you
saw
haven't dodged all of
that. Yeah, I saw that, and I'll be honest with you. I'm right now. I have on pause Suicide Squad
Oh, I'm so sorry.
upstairs. I'm halfway through it, and I'm not hating it. I'm not hating
Really?
it.
Okay.
I'm an hour into it. I'm not hating it. I love how the music. Uh, I think they picked the music wisely because
Yeah.
it's really it sparks the movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
The movie really has been flowing for me with the music a lot more than Batman versus Superman flowed, which actually didn't flow at all. And I did see Batman versus Superman, so I haven't dodged every movie. But so far, I'm not hating it. But I'm only an hour
Okay.
into it. I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm not digging Joker, but I am digging, of course, Harley Quinn because I love Harley Quinn. And so I'm just halfway through it, and I love that they already. Oh well, I better not say anything in case somebody hasn't seen it. But
I think I think Margot Robbie does a good Harley Quinn. She does
yeah,
a pretty good job.
I think so. I like Will Smith's Deadshot. I think Amanda Waller with Viola Davis is well cast.
I think she's the best thing about that movie. She's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, and I like that the sheriff from now I'm blanking on it. What was that Netflix show that we Stranger Things. I love that the sheriff from Stranger Things is in it too,
Mm-hmm.
and he's all clean shaven and cleaned up and everything. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a real guy. He's not just some slouchy sheriff. I don't think he gets that much screen time. I only saw him in the very beginning, but
Yeah, he's not in it that much.
yeah, it was just the very beginning. But I liked him a lot. So yeah, I'm not hating it so far. But I got another hour to go.
So would you say you like it better than Batman v Superman?
I like the first half of it better than I like the first half of Batman and Superman.
Okay.
I'm in the minority, I understand, but I like this. As soon as Wonder Woman showed up, then I started liking Batman and Superman, but she doesn't show up until the last 20 minutes of the film. So, um, but to me, when she came in, she pulled it all together, and I was really into it. But yeah, it was pretty choppy.
Yeah.
Even my daughter who's 25 that was watching it with me, we were sort of just looking at each other at the very big, halfway through, and she goes, "Gosh, this is so choppy. I don't get it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but we have to try and like it. It's Batman and Superman. We must try and like it at least. We got to give it a shot." And then by the end, she said, "Yeah, I like the ending, and I liked when Wonder Woman showed up, and that made it better. But it was real choppy, and I like Ben
Mhm.
Affleck as Batman, and I have to say I wholeheartedly liked Man of Steel. I know that not everybody liked it. I definitely did like Man of Steel,
Mhm.
so I could be now. Is Zack Snyder directing all of these things?
He didn't do Suicide Squad. He's not doing
Okay.
Aquaman. He's doing Justice League right now.
Okay. But he did he okay, so then he did okay for me in Man of Steel, but then I don't know what he was trying to accomplish in Batman versus Superman.
I don't think anybody knows.
No,
I don't
okay.
think Zack Snyder knows what he was trying to do with Batman and Superman. I
What yeah, what else is in on his credit besides 300? Did he do
oh,
something else good? Zack Snyder? I know 300
um,
was good because I liked that.
he did Sucker Punch. He did the remake of Dawn of the Dead. 300.
I saw
Um,
Sucker Punch and I liked it.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
didn't
did
see
I.
the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Really good.
I
Really,
didn't
really
see
good.
it.
That's not bad. That was one of the first things he directed.
Hmm.
Other than that, I don't think he's done too much else.
Hmm. Okay.
So he's definitely somebody that I'm not too
So,
crazy of. I'm not a
yeah,
fan.
he seems to be a polarizing figure.
No, he totally is. Ugh. But speaking of the comic book movies, we've got news. A Gotham City Sirens movie is apparently in
Yes.
the works. I know you are a fan of Gotham City Sirens. What's even bigger though is that Megan Fox there is the rumor to be cast as Poison Ivy.
Well, that's cool with me. I don't. I all I've ever done is see pictures of her. As you said, I've never seen a Transformers movie. I think she'd look great painted
Mhm.
green. That's totally cool with me. I think it's awesome. Um, and if Margot Robbie can come back as Harley and they post somebody awesome as Catwoman, I think that movie sounds a lot of fun. If they just keep it to those three characters, you get it in trouble when you add too many characters. Avengers movies aside, and hopefully Justice League aside, if you put too many bad guys in there, that's what kills a movie. If you've got too many bad guys, and the Sirens are not bad guys; they're anti-heroes, so that's okay having the three of them.
Mhm.
But if they tackle too many, if they've got too much going on, then I'm not too excited about it. I mean, that's what killed Batman and Robin besides the nipples on the bat suit was all the there was too many villains, and that's what killed
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3. There were too many villains.
yeah,
Just focus on one villain and then go for it. And
definitely.
um, one villain should be plenty. And Gotham City Sirens, I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I mean, it was a fun comic, and they were always up to antics and shenanigans, and Harley and Ivy, there were hints of a relationship there, so that came to fruition later. So I, I'm hopeful.
You're hopeful. I've never read the comics. I've never read Gotham City Sirens. All that I know is that I think there was like a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy series that spun out of that where they go to like a different city or
Yeah,
something.
Harley and Ivy.
Yeah. But I've never read it. I know Megan
Hmm.
Fox, she's not regarded as the best actress, which kind of makes me wonder why DC decided to go with her, but you know what? I'll give anything a shot. It could be good,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
It's going to depend on the script, like always.
Oh, totally, totally. And I'm glad that in a way they're kind of expanding the universe and they're including these different villains and they're including kind of these different characters that they really haven't gotten that much of a spotlight. I mean, yeah, we've gotten Poison Ivy and the terrible 90s Batman films. Oh my God, remember that? Oh,
Yeah, I actually didn't see it.
how? How do you keep doing this, Jess?
I just know not to see those kind of movies because there's too many freaking villains. There were just too many villains in it. I
You
knew
need
it was
to,
going to blow.
you need to teach me, man. Oh my God. How
I
many
know, and I so wanted to love it, but I just knew, and I never saw Green Lantern either, just because I knew not to, and I really wanted to love that movie, but I just something told me not to go there, and I
you
don't
have
know.
you have a gift for missing out on the worst comic book movies around. Now, have you seen the Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry?
No, I have not.
Yeah,
I never
oh
saw
my
that.
gosh, man.
You're really reaching back.
I really no, I really am. You don't. Well, you do know what you're missing in this case. Just avoid. How? How do you always dodge them? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I've gotten lucky, I guess.
Because I'm sitting through half of these movies, just hate watching them. Just like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. How can they get this shit so wrong?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've gotten lucky that way. I have a sixth sense that just knows not to go. But I had to make myself see Batman versus Superman because it was Batman and Superman. So I said, I'll sit through anything with these two characters. And I sat through it. So I forced myself.
Did you walk out of the theater with like a T-shirt? I survived Batman v Superman. I don't
Yeah, I didn't love it, but I don't have the hatred that everybody else does for it because that's the 15-year-old in me rebelling, saying it's got those two characters in it. It has to be good, even though it made no sense.
You know, I was all not to jump on. Okay, not to beat this dead horse because this horse has been shot and buried and then put up again. I was all in on Batman v Superman until Martha. That was the scene that broke me.
Yeah, I
Where
understand.
I just like Batman stops fighting him. Why'd you start talking about Martha? Why'd you bring up her name? And then like the fight just ends halfway through it. I'm like, that's how you're gonna end the fight? Okay, all right. I mean, it was a good fight leading up to it, though.
Yeah. Speaking of fights, this is a segue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you Many of your viewers may know this comic. This is a famous comic from the 70s, Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
In short, the Star Warriors took them to a neutral planet where Superman had no powers, like a planet under the red sun, and he and Muhammad Ali have to have it out. And it's a
Classic.
it's a very famous book, and it's Neil Adams' art, and it's a I don't even know if I can do it justice here, but it's got a panoply of faces in here, and including right there Jimmy and Rosalind Carter, Sonny Bono,
Oh wow.
Batman's at ringside. There's Luther, and there's the boxing promoter Don King. Yeah, there's Don King there, and so Neil Adams has gotten together with Palmiotti and Connor to do. It's coming out in December. It is Superman versus Harley Quinn, and I haven't read too much about it, but you've got there's Batman, Sonny Bono. I don't know why Sonny Bono's there, but there's the President Obama and Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
Obama, and there's Luther for right there. This is all I was able to grab off of the internet, but it's going to be for Harley's. Oh shoot, it's not in the main Harley Quinn book. It's Harley's. Harley's Little Lovers or whatever it's called. There's some other book. There's Gang of Harleys. There's
Harley's Little Lovers.
it's something. It's a spin-off thing where Harley gets into. It's like Brave and Bold almost,
Mm-hmm.
where she gets. She tails around Wonder Woman. She'll goof around with Green Lantern. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't come up with it. But it's coming out in December, and I think it shows they got Neil Adams, but he's not writing it, so it's going to be good. Because he's not writing it, he's just drawing it, and they've got Palmiotti and Connor writing it. So this is going to be Little Black Book. That's what it is. Harley's Little Black Book. So they're great writers of her, and it shows the importance of Harley. They consider her the fourth pillar in their universe, along with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. She's the fourth pillar holding up the foundation, and they've got tons of plans for her. And to make this, they're going to make this a big book, I think. Um, so I think it's going to be fun, but it's a humorous book because that's how Palmiotti and Connor write.
They've been crushing it on that book though.
Yeah, that's my favorite book coming out. That's the only one I still subscribe to in singles, and I totally double dip and get it in hardcover because I just love Harley so much and what they've done with her. They've made her so fun and interesting, and so I'm really looking forward to that book.
Yeah, they've recently they've been no, not even recently. They've been writing this book for probably a good 2, 3 years now, and they've just been absolutely crushing it, like doing a
Yeah.
great job. After Scott Lobdell's Red Hood and the bullshit, um,
Wait, why are you bringing that up?
because she was in it. Wait, no, wasn't she in it? No,
I don't think so. What?
no, she was in Suicide Squad. My mistake.
Yeah, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, yeah, and that was trash too. That wasn't that great either.
Um,
I didn't think it was that great.
right. Well, it's not as great as her main book.
Yeah.
I think that there have been like since the New 52, there have been like 3 iterations of Suicide Squad. I like the very first iteration.
Mm-hmm.
The second iteration was a little weaker, and then I haven't read this brand new Rebirth Suicide Squad one. But Suicide Squad's taking on the JLA in some type of fight, which sounds interesting. I don't know. How could Harley fight Superman? I have no idea, but they're going to try and pull it off. But
They'll figure something out.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be real good. I mean, gorgeous art. I know you famously are not a fan of Neil Adams' writing, so at least he's doing art.
yeah, he does. Let's see. I have another picture from that. Let's see where I put it. It has her laying a.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Now I'm not really that excited about the way he's drawing her face right there. It's a little too. It's not soft enough. But the bruise on Superman's face tells me they must have been moved to a red sun planet too. She's beating on him in here.
So she's beating him like a Cherokee drum.
Hey, I'm an 8th Cherokee, so take it easy.
Are you really?
I am, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I forget how we got there, but yeah, Harley's definitely gonna be putting the beat down on Superman in that book.
I'm definitely looking. I cannot wait. Honestly, I like the concept. I really dug the Muhammad Ali stuff. I read it. I really dug it. Really interesting way for them to come up with the fight. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it was really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got it. I read it.
Moving on, the man himself. Okay, if you were a kid that grew up in the 90s, there is one name that should be synonymous with childhood horror, and that is R.L. Stine.
Right.
Apparently, R.L. Stine was announced, I think it was like a few months ago, that he would be working with Marvel on a secret book. We didn't know what that is until like about this week or last week, and that book is, Jess?
Man-Thing. It's coming out in March.
Books.
Out of all the books, and they're going to have Man-Thing talking now. It's coming out in March, and that's really all we know so far is that he's right. R.L. Stine's writing Man-Thing, and Man-Thing will talk out loud, and it's a big deal that the Goosebumps writer is writing this book. It's definitely going to be an interesting take on Man-Thing. I don't see how that book isn't a sellout with, as you say, every 90s kid reading those Goosebumps books. That's going to be a big seller, I would imagine.
Oh, it's going to sell fast. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good or bad, I think the first issue is going to do pretty well because of the name you have attached to it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that is a big name to write a funny book. I totally agree.
No, I don't think Stine has ever done a comic before. I think this is his first foray into it.
I think so too.
Yeah, so we'll see how well he does. There are a lot of writers out there that they try to make that transition from prose to comics, and they don't make that transition really that well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm not the biggest Man-Thing fan. In fact, I've never read anything involving the character, so you would know more than I would on this.
Yeah, well, Man-Thing predates Swamp Thing by a few months. It's everybody thinks Swamp Thing, that Man-Thing's a ripoff of Swamp Thing, but I think they were two ideas that germinated in the same at the same time and just came out a few months apart. And Man-Thing's hard to describe. I think I'm trying to think now. I think Man-Thing started off as a back issue, a secondary story in Howard the Duck, and then he got his own issues. If I'm remembering correctly, I may not be. I do have a lot of old Man-Thing issues, but I don't have Howard the Duck issues. Or did Howard the Duck start in Man-Thing? Either way, Steve Gerber wrote them both. So one or the other happened. And I'm thinking maybe Howard the Duck started in Man-Thing now, but I can't really remember. And Man-Thing started in one of those Marvel books like Adventures into Mystery or Journey into Drama or one of those things, Astonishing Tales of Woe, whatever. I believe that's where he had his debut. So it's going to be an interesting take to actually hear him talk, because he's just been sort of a thinking, feeling Man-Thing type thing forever. So for him to have a voice will be very interesting.
I have feelings too.
Right.
So, okay, Man-Thing doesn't have a voice? He doesn't talk?
Not to my recollection, if I recall correctly. Now, of course, as we know, I'm old and I haven't read him since the 70s, but that's my recollection.
Okay.
Other than grunts and groans and stuff, I don't recall that he spoke. Now, I probably should Google that really quick, and you can edit that part out if it turns out he's like giving, the Gettysburg Address at something. So let's see.
7 years ago.
Man-Thing talk. No, not does Man-Thing tall talk.
Is Man-Thing tall?
Man-Thing. Character first appeared in Savage Tales, and then to be found in Adventures into Fear, which introduced the character Howard the Duck. Okay.
So Howard the Duck was first introduced through Man-Thing.
Correct. Man-Thing is a large, slow-moving, empathetic, humanoid swamp monster living in the Florida Everglades near Luis C. Carrero Rodriguez's house, near the Seminole Reservation, the fictitious... Well, it doesn't say. I still don't think he talks.
No, probably doesn't.
Okay, he gets a psychic link. He definitely is transformed. Yeah, now it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, actually, it sounds like he definitely doesn't talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, there is a Man-Thing omnibus that is not that, well, it's readily available. It's sold out, but you can still find it, right?
Yeah, I think you can get it on eBay for $70 or something. And
it's not too bad.
And it's decent 70s writing, too. It's worth reading. It's definitely worth reading, because he's a scientist that got turned into vegetable matter, just like the same way Swamp Thing did. Somehow Swamp Thing is more popular. But it's definitely, that's probably right. He's tortured, but he does good deeds and things. And the whole concept is similar to Swamp Thing, only they've taken Swamp Thing and taken him 7 different directions and invented all kinds of circles of hell and everything around him. Whereas I think Man-Thing's just been static since the 70s, and they haven't really done anything with him.
Yeah.
So this will be Stein's opportunity to actually flex his muscles and give up maybe some world building to Man-Thing. The same way they did with Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it could definitely be a character where, with the right writer, you could make
Hmm.
something really special. Like the same thing that they're doing, that Marvel's doing right now with Squirrel Girl. Where Squirrel
Right.
Girl, before her recent run, everybody's like, "Oh, Squirrel Girl's a giant joke." And her recent run, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard incredible things about it. I've heard it's a lot of fun.
I have too. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my to be read really soon pile.
I have to pick up that hardcover.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah, that's on my to read pile.
Ooh. All right, and the last news story that we have today, it's going to be a bit of a short week for you guys, simply because this is the holiday season. Everybody's trying to get things last minute, and we're trying to wrap this up. Rogue One, I've seen it. I really liked it, and it's banked over $290 million this past weekend alone.
And that's just in the US?
No, that's
Oh, that's
everywhere.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
I was
U.S.,
going
I
to say
think
US, that's crazy.
no. Oof, yeah. In the U.S., I think it banked like 150 or
Okay.
159, somewhere
That's
ridiculous like that.
nothing to sneeze at.
No.
That's a real serious numbers.
Yeah, but man, it is a hit. It is a real financial hit for the House of Mouse.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to see it because I asked you to spoil a certain part for me and you did, and I can't wait to see that part. I just wanted to know if a certain someone happened
Yes.
to show up, and it's possible that a certain someone does show up,
Yeah.
and that's what I want to see. That's why I'm going.
Oh, do me a favor. Once you get out of it, message me, because you're
Okay.
gonna see that character and you're just gonna go, oh my God.
Awesome.
It's so good. Rogue One is really good. My favorite of the Star Wars series is Empire.
Yeah.
Same as you. And I don't think it's as good as Empire, but it's close, I think. I think it's really up there.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. So that is a big compliment.
And I'm kind of surprised. This is definitely not one for the kids. Like Rogue One is
Oh,
it's pretty dark. Like
really dark. Okay.
it's got its moments where it's pretty dark because it's a war film. Rogue One,
Yeah.
more than any of the other Star Wars films, is a war film. You are in the trenches with a lot of these characters, and man, do some of them not make it out of this? You'll
Ooh.
see.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like it is really good, and the way that they tie into A New Hope is almost flawless.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
really, really interesting stuff. I think you'll like it.
Well, this is a bonus movie. I didn't even know they were doing this movie until, a few months ago when I saw a preview and I said, "Oh, another cartoon or something." And then what? Whoa, wait, those are people in that movie. That's just what? What? There's a Star Wars movie coming out at the end of the year. I didn't know that, and
Yeah.
I don't. Did everybody know that there was going to be a prequel to that? That sure got by me. I never knew about it, and I was, of course, very excited and happy about it.
I think they announced that like 1 or 2 years ago, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, they probably made the announcement like 1 or 2 years ago or something like that. But it ties so well into A New Hope, and you'll see what I mean once you actually
Okay.
see the film. But it's really good. In fact, I spoke with Gio about doing a review
Oh, good.
of the film, and he said, yeah, he'd be down with it. Maybe that'll be like one of the weeks that Riley's not with us, that we'll all sit down and we're just gonna go
Oh, okay.
full on spoilers like we did with Doctor Strange and talk about the movie.
Okay, good. I'm up for that. That'd be great.
Yeah, but it's Jess. You're in for a treat.
I can't wait.
I'm telling you, you are in for a real big treat. Just wait, and walk out of the theater, and then message me and go, ho, because
I think I want to go to an early morning showing. There'll be fewer people if it's like 10 a.m. in the morning.
let me say this: I'm thinking about going. I have this week off because I have the next 2 weeks off because
right.
I'm a teacher and we're off right now. My fiance, she's working, and honestly, I'm thinking about going tomorrow because she works during the day and catching an early showing to watch it again.
Oh, if only I had unlimited money, I'd fly down and watch with you.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
And
Oh
then
my
we'd go
gosh!
out for that hamburger hot dog thing that you
Oh yeah!
talk about.
Honestly, I would love to be there sitting next to you when you see the moment that I am talking about involving that character.
Oh man.
Me and my friend and my brother, we all walked out of the theater and we all had the same reaction where it was like, you know what, we paid $12 for our ticket and it was totally worth the 30 seconds of that character at the end of that film.
Oh, I'm getting so excited.
It's good. It's really good.
It's good to be a nerd. I'm glad I lived this long when nerds rule the world now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, damn, I really don't want to spoil it. Were you a fan of this character in the prequels? How they did him in the prequels?
No.
Okay, well, they gave him his balls back in this movie. That's
Nice.
the best way I can explain it.
That is all I care about. That is all I care about. I don't consider those other ones to even exist. So
Same.
I've wiped them from memory.
Same.
Yeah. No, those were horrible disappointments. And there's 3 bad movies that I walked into willingly.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
My daughter was like 8 when the first one came out, and she made me see that thing like 9 times.
Oh, Jess.
I know.
Oh.
She was in 2nd grade back when that first one came out.
Yeah, your daughter's not about my age, so yeah, that was about the same for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I got dragged to a lot of stuff, like the Pikachu movie and the first Star Wars prequel, and yeah, no, I sat through a lot of garbage. But I also sat through Rugrats movies, which weren't bad. I like I remember liking Rugrats movies.
They weren't that bad. They were okay.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, I know we are both really busy, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys once again, Patreon subscribers. This is our weekly news show. We kind of try to keep it very light, and we kind of cover some of the biggest stuff that comes out. If there's anything we missed, let us know in the comments. Thank you once again. Thanks, Jess, for having you on.
Thanks for having me on. And how come you guys put a tree topper on first, then you decorate the tree?
It was my fiance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my fiance.
Okay. Hey, it's
I
her
don't know.
world.
Maybe they do it backwards in Cuba. I don't know. But thanks again. Thank you guys, as always, patrons. You guys help keep the lights on, and it's always greatly appreciated. And I don't think, let's see, what's next? Next Sunday is Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't have a news show for next Sunday. But we'll work on it sometime next week.
Sure.
So I will wish you guys a Merry Christmas for those of you that celebrate it and enjoy it, and I hope you guys get everything you want.
Nice.
Have a good night. Bye.
Ciao.